once I've done that, what I did, I'm just so you know, I'm just changing some positions here. So I'm just removing all the unnecessary parts that we do not need. For example, where they are overlaying, as you can see over here. But where was I? So basically what I did then is, once the mask is applied, you can go to your height and you can very slightly up your height so that it gives like a sticker effect that there is some height coming out. So if you want an example, just go into the Substance Painter file that is provided with this, and then you can see that. And once I've done that, so I placed it into a folder with a white mask, and then when you use a black brush, you can actually paint away chips of your sticker, of your stripes and everything, so that it will feel like it is broken up and that it's old and everything. And that's basically what I'm doing here. So later on, I did notice that some of the positions weren't correctly, as you can see over there. So I just went back into Photoshop and I just changed the positions again. So that was just the exact same thing as I did before. So yeah, also like over here, the positions weren't correctly. But as you can see, I have a little height going on over there. So that's basically what I did. Right now I am going back to Photoshop and I am just fixing all the positions again. But I think that's the process that I am using. So I just use right now I'm using my normal map because it's easier to see things. So I'm just creating all the little stickers, I just call them stickers. I just create all the stickers that I want into the diffuse map. I export that without a background so that it is just transparent. And I import that into Substance Painter. Throw that onto a fill layer with also a mask that is basically all the white is in the same position as the stickers, as you could see there, and with a black background, so just a mask. And that mask we want to just assign also. Once that's done, place everything into a folder with a white mask, so a lot of masks. That's the thing with Substance. And with a white mask, if you paint in black in that white mask, you can paint away parts of your stickers, and like that you can make it look more damaged. So that's basically it. That's what I'm doing. Right now I'm still just placing the positions, I'm just playing around with it. And as you can see, right around here they were roughly good again. So yeah. So right now I'm just removing any unnecessary parts or stickers that are overlapping on other objects, which is something we never want to do. So yeah, as you can see, it's basically what I'm doing now. Just moving those up a bit and just removing all the other parts. And saving this again, as you can see, with a blank background. And also creating a mask again, with the same position. And now if we go to Substance Painter, and we can just go to our textures and reload, and then if we reassign them into our layers, then they will have reloaded. So as you can see, these are now the fixed textures that we had. And I am just painting things out over here and over here. So yeah, sorry if things go a bit too fast sometimes. I had to keep the tutorial short because the entire texturing process took me 4.5 hours to do on my own time. So of course I don't want to have you sitting here 4.5 hours just watching me do the same thing over and over again. So that's why I do the narrating. But yeah, then sometimes we just get some parts that go a bit too quick. So I hope that I'm explaining everything good enough to you for you to understand. But yeah, so stickers are there and I just exported that. Right now I am just tweaking my dust a little bit more, get a bit more dust on here. Okay, so I am just adding a directional light to my mom's scene. Just if you go to scene and then add a light, And here you can just set the type to directional and just play with the brightness. That will give us some nice shadows, and just rotate it to where you want. So basically what I did was I changed the sky. If you go to your saves folder into the source files of this volume, you will see a file called Industrial Room, which is like the sky that we have also in Substance Painter. And that's basically the sky I changed this to. And I set the brightness to 1.4. I set the sky, the mode of the backdrop to ambient sky, and I just lowered that down. And as you can see over here, this is roughly the values that you get. And the plane material, I just changed the base color to a more bluish, and I just higher the gloss, because if you higher the gloss, your reflections will be more accurate, as you can see over here. Just have a look over your files in the source file so you can see exactly what I did. So it's very straightforward. Just look at the settings and then you can see that all I did was change some settings. So as you can see, our model is really starting to look better right now. So I'm just playing around again a little bit with the colors to give it a more brighter orange color. And I think by now we will start going back into normal time, and I will start explaining some more important things again. Maybe here also on the handles. That looks fine. Okay. I think that's about it. I think we can now start by placing the position. Yeah, seems like it. So let's export this, and now we can start by giving our model a cool position and then adding all the wires and everything. So let's just export these textures. We can actually close Photoshop. And while we export this, let's open up 3ds Max. Okay, so with 3ds Max open, let's first of all start with, let's go over here, with placing just one material on our model, like this. Now what we want to do is, we want to first give it a cool pose before we start adding the wires, because else you would need to animate the wires, and that's not something to do for this tutorial. So just want to go into 5, and I just want to select everything that can rotate. So basically we want to, let's just delete our UV unwrap. Let's press 5, and let's select, for example, first all these parts over here and here. Okay, and we want to just detach this. Now I want to select this part, we want to press 5 again. And so these parts over here can rotate, how you say it? They can rotate. They can rotate 180 degrees. So these I want to detach. And everything will make sense later on. For these parts over here, I want to select, let's see, I think I want to select everything up until here, yes, because these ones can go back and forth while it is rotating. So let's detach that, and let's just leave the ending. So now what we want to do is, with this cylinder over here, let's just go to the side, and let's just effect pivot only and center this to the object. And that should be fine. For this one, I want to effect pivot only. This time I want to set the pivot exactly in the middle here, because like this we can rotate it from this point, so it will still align. So it will still, if you rotate it, as you can see, it will still stay with the bottom part. I think, yes, so that's where I made the mistake. If we just select everything, except for these arms, and don't forget the screws, like this, and let's detach this part. Here we go. For this part, we want to effect pivot only, And this pivot we want to set in the center over here of this screw. So now we have this one, this one, this one. And for the final, over here, effect pivot only. And we want to set this in the center of this cylinder so that it can rotate around this cylinder. With that done, if we go here to our bar at the top, here we have link, and basically what it does is it will make it as a child object so that it will follow its parent object. So if you just click and drag with this selected to this part, for this one click and drag it to this one, and for this one click and drag it to this one, and this one click and drag it to the base. Now what will happen is if you rotate this, everything will follow. So basically, if we just rotate it slightly to the right, let's set everything on local. Let's rotate this slightly to the back. These ones we can rotate to the front, and these ones we can rotate down. And as you can see, that very quickly gives us like a really cool position that we can use. So with this selected, let's just export this just to see how it looks in Marmoset and if we need to change anything before adding all our wires. So I want to export this as an OBJ, and let's call this pose, just as the pose that it has. Press done. In Marmoset, textures are done. Look at that. Now we have the right amount of dust, and we have the right metal color finally. So that works great. The back can have a bit more work, but now it really starts to look like what we were looking for. I actually want to make so this is me again all over the place. I want to make the metal a bit more colorful. Now I look at it. And that's about it. For the rest, I want to maybe go here at the back, which is like the uniform glossy, and just want to make the roughness and metallic higher. And maybe set the color a bit lower, just to make that. So that will be fine. That looks all fine. So let's just export this texture while we are doing the rest. So this can just export. And in here, in scene, we can just disable this temporarily. And if we go to import model, and we want to import our pose, here we go. And now if we just drag our material to the top over here, as you can see, now we have our model with a cool pose. I can see that we accidentally messed up some smoothing groups here, which we will need to fix again. So yeah, I'm just speeding this up because we already did the smoothing group so many times now. I think this is already the third time. So basically I'm just redoing all my smoothing groups because since we detached it always cancels the smoothing groups. Forgot about that. But since this is just a quick position, we can easily just redo this. So yeah, just basically do the same faces as you did before. Over here. And also here in the inner center. And also these ones. And then just export it. As you can see, that makes everything look better. I did forget to do the top over there, so I'm just quickly doing that face. And export everything again. And as you can see, now we have a very interesting look to this.